Hi, and welcome back to part 5 of this series on how to make money and get paid online the right way with Google AdSense. It has been a while. The last time we put this together was on June 13, and today is December 20th, so it has been a few months. Before we get started, I wanted to give you an update on these two items. Well, we had issues with our original content writer, so essentially that delayed the project on this website. So really the deadline to make money, initially we were targeting November 23rd, but now we are going to push it a couple of months, making it January 23rd 2012 instead. And then also we will be using a different site instead of the one that we started the series with. This is actually, let me show you this before we get going. It's really what I call a sister site, very similar to the layout design content of the original, but we are going to use this one instead of the other one, which if I pull that up, I believe that is mycarinsurance.net. So let me do this while this is going. So if I go mycar-insurance.net, that you will notice is very similar to this site, in the layout and whatnot. But for our purposes today, we are really going to be focusing on the compare site. So as far as a recap, what we have done so far, the first point is to really find a profitable area and niche to focus on if you want to make money online. So for our case, we are focusing on car insurance, which is a profitable area as it's a very competitive area. A lot of players, as you know, our friends at Progressive, Allstate and whatnot. So really in the first part, what we did was we showed you do some keyword research with a number of tools including google.com/AdWords. Then after you have, let's say, a list of 4 to 5 keywords, then you need to register the domain. Really need to come up with a cool domain which is not only eye-catching but has keywords in it, and we used a site called bustaname.com to do that. Moving on, then you need to focus on your website design. Here we discussed that the hierarchy structure, you need to have nice navigation, easy to follow, nothing complicated, simple yet elegant layout. And like I mentioned, we started with this site, but really from this point onward, we are going to focus on this site instead. And really the reason for this is our original content writer was supposed to be working on this, which never materialized, and then in the meantime I personally started working on this one, so that is why it has taken us a little bit to get there. Moving on, the next point we covered in the series was content, which, as you know, the saying, content is king. Definitely very important topic. You have two choices. You can either create your own content if you have some time and have decent writing skills. If you do not, then maybe hire someone to write the content for you. And for our case, we did this half and half. We wrote some of the content, and we also hired some other people, especially for the blog portion of it. And nowadays you can get somebody fairly at competitive prices. Now in the last section we did cover Google AdSense. We went over essentially the initial setup and the basic layout, as it is a pretty cool application from Google. And then we did not get a chance to cover the reports, which we are hoping to do that possibly in part 6 or part 7. Okay. Now enough about that. What is really today's agenda? What are we going to focus on today? Well, we already have the content written. We covered Google AdSense. In fact, we showed you how to put the ads and whatnot. But today we need to go back to the content and really revise it from an SEO perspective, from the search engine optimization point of view. Okay. And if you can remember, or maybe you haven't seen this, in our old site we were covering this page. which essentially, we have the same page here. So let me pull that up here. This has already been optimized for SEO, and we are essentially going to walk you through some of the steps in here. Real quickly, as you can notice, we have a little bit of navigation up here. In fact, we have some drop down and whatnot. We have animation going right in this section. You could possibly put an image if you wanted to. Then our content really stays on the left side. We talk about insurance coverage, what are some of the types, liability insurance. We go over some examples. Before I go further, you'll notice that we have Google Ads running on the right side, and we also are partnering up another company to provide us insurance codes on this page. Then moving on, again we have Google Ads in the middle, which happens to be a very hot area for click-through rate. And then we have other types of coverages we're discussing. Moving on, we go on to comprehensive collision coverage, auto medical payments, more ads, a little bit of picture, and then some content, and then finally some related links and a footer down here. Okay, so very basic layout of a website. Seems to work for the most part. So let me come back to my sort of like slide. I don't really have a slide. Usually I do have a PowerPoint, but today I'm just winging it with this notepad. So today, like I said, we will be looking at this. Before I get into this, please visit our site datatechnologyllc.com for SEO ideas. Also, we are offering $100 Google AdWords credit in the next 30 days if you sign up for a package, and you can email us for more info. Okay, so before I start talking about SEO, we are going to actually go ahead and use a rank checker, which is a tool for Firefox from SEObook.com. Excellent tool. It basically lets you put in a keyword, your website, and it will give you the rankings, the current rankings on your keywords. Okay, so we will do that first. Then next we will talk about keywords per page. Okay, now remember, today really our focus is going to be on page optimization. Maybe next time or one of these days we can talk about off page. So we will really focus on the page itself. We will talk about let's say meta tags, body tags, let me see, images, the file and directory structure. I'm just making up a list of things we need to cover. The sitemap, obviously, and then possibly keyword density, and then some SEO tools that are out there that can make your job somewhat easier. Okay, so let me switch over to Firefox. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, run this rank checker. And if you have Firefox, this is once you install the plugin, you can Google rank checker, or you can just simply go to SEObook.com. But this is what it looks like. When you click on it, it is going to go ahead and sometimes for whatever reason it kind of goes in the background, but here's what it looks like. You can actually save some of your projects on your site. So we just created another one called test, and the way you look at this is that I'm having some issues with my computer. I don't know if it's needs to be patched up or something like that, so I apologize if you bear with me here. Maybe I'll just pause and come back. Anyway, so you'll notice this is the way this works. Okay, we have the domain, which is compareinsurance-car.com. We have the keyword that we're putting in, and then the last time I ran it, looks like it's showing that on Google it's 59, which is not bad, but we need to really get into, I would say, the top 30 or top 40 at the very least to get coverage. In Yahoo we're doing a little bit better. We are showing up, and then Bing, again, we need some work to do. And the way you do this is you go to multiple keywords. So let me apologize, I'm jumping all over the place here. Let me copy this since I'm a little bit lazy, and then I will come back here and put the domain in here, and then down here I'm going to put in some of the other words that I'm looking for. Insurance coverage is obviously one because that is the page that we're focusing on, and then maybe compare auto insurance. Okay, so what you do is you put in your domain, you put in the keywords, you add it, it goes right here. I always like to save things, and then I'm going to go ahead and start this. You can, by the way, you can export this to a CSV too. While that is running, let us come back and then really start digging into our stuff. So as far as keywords, so the page I'm looking at today is insurance coverage. Okay, so I would say for every page, maybe focus on one or two keywords that are going to be your driving factor. They say that essentially if you're trying to optimize one page for, let's say, many keywords, you're going to run into some problems. So I definitely would say one or two keywords per page. So let me write that down here. Okay, and then obviously we just start from a top-down approach. We are going to start with the meta tags, and then go from there. So if I pull up my page in Firefox, you can just simply right click and select view page source. What this is going to do is it will bring up the HTML version of the page, so then you can kind of dissect it and do some scientific analysis, for a lack of a better term. Now we're back in Rank Checker real quickly. Notice that again, we are showing up in the rankings, not exactly where I would want to be there, would want to be. I guess 61 is where we're showing on Google. So there's a little bit of work that needs to be done, but at least we are indexed. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then as far as the meta tags, so the first tag we really need to focus in is the title tag. Okay, it starts up here, finishes it in here, and then what I'm going to do is, in fact, I'm going to select an insurance coverage and then really highlight it, I guess is the best possible way to do it. Okay, so let's go through this one by one. Notice that in my title tag I start out Cash's tips, and the reason I did this is to differentiate a little bit from some of the other results out there. Remember, one of the things you need to do is to increase your click-through rate, so I put that in the beginning, but then I go insurance coverage including liability and comprehensive coverage. Remember that you also want to use different terms, similar terms, synonyms, relative to your keywords. Okay, so that's the idea there. In my title tag, you'll notice that I basically have insurance coverage and comprehensive coverage within the title. Moving on, notice where it says meta name description, I am using pretty much a nice sentence, which it says insurance coverage, we cover car insurance terms and definitions like liability, blah blah blah. At least I'm using insurance coverage twice. And then moving on, thank you for watching the sample video.